You feeling that midlife crash after 50? It's not your imagination. I know they used to say, you get that mid-afternoon crash at work. I'm getting that midlife crash, and I've been doing a little investigating. So I'm going to share some information I've found on some foods that can boost your metabolism a little bit and give you a little more energy than maybe you've got right now. When I went through, the liver failure and the cancer and the pandemic and all the things, I put on a lot of weight. My happy place, I've never been a small person. I'm a little big bone, so they say, but I've always been, 160, 170, and that's kind of my happy place. I like my curves, you know what I'm saying? But I plumped up to like 240, and I sat there for about 5 years after the sicknesses and things and things that had gone on. And so I did recently, at the time of this filming, about 4 months ago, started the GLP-1 shot. And I'm very microdose on it, but I've been steadily losing between a half a pound and 2.5 to 3 pounds a week. It's usually more around a pound, which is fine. It's slow, it's easy. I find, if anyone's interested on my personal experience with that, I haven't had any side effects other than when I tried to up the dose too much. Then I dealt with some digestive issues and stuff, constipation, things like that. So I backed it back down. But it's been a steady weight loss. I feel what it does is it just shuts off the food noise. I'm a snacker. I'm always stuffing my face. I get bored, I eat. I'm sad, I eat. I'm happy, I eat. I'm driving in the car, I'm eating. I'm watching TV, I eat. So this stops all that. I only eat when I'm truly hungry. And sometimes I forget to eat. I'll go almost all day and it's like, oh wow, I really should eat something. And I think that's why you lose weight. It's not, it just eliminates the snacky. I still eat what I want. Unfortunately, I still go through the drive-through and I still do frozen dinners. And because as much as I used to love to cook when I had a family and put on a big spread and do the whole thing, I don't like doing it for myself. I know my mom, I watch her, and she's really old school. She's 84, and I'll go in there in the afternoon to visit with her, and she'll be laying out her chicken for the night and her potatoes, and she cooks for herself still, even though it's just her. And I can't get into it. I just can't cook for myself. Sometimes I'll make like a big pot of spaghetti and then freeze a bunch of little servings of it so I can just pop it in the microwave. But usually it ends up being Stouffer's. I'm not gonna lie. And so I don't eat super healthy, and I should change that. And I get on kicks where I do change it for a while, but then I go back to my old habits. I'm not gonna lie, I go back to my old habits. But the GLP-1 has stopped me from all the intermittent eating. And so I am losing weight slowly. And I'm hoping that when I get down to, I've lost about 25 pounds total in the last 4 or 5 months, which isn't a lot, but it's slow. And I'm noticing now, my clothes are fitting better, everything's going better. I got about another, 30, 40 to go. But I'm hoping, my goal is at the first of the year, maybe I'll be close to that. And we're right now in the fall of 2025. So I'm hoping that by the first of the year, springtime, I'll be at my goal weight, which is between 160 and 170. And I'm fine with that. I don't want to be super thin. I need to keep a little puff so my face don't slide off. Because you see some of those people whose skin falls off. Well, I don't have the collagen buildup, and I'm not getting the Botox. I'm not, I don't like putting that kind of stuff in my, I'll eat a Big Mac, but don't be putting Botox in my face. I'm not sure which is worse. But anyway, that's my story on the GLP-1. I'm on the trizepatide, the one that starts with a T. I get it locally here. It's affordable. I didn't get it through my doctor. I'm getting it through another source, and it's working great. So no side effects that I've noticed other than I just don't eat as much. And, my energy's still good and everything. And if anything, it's probably a little better now that I'm losing some weight. So that's my story on that. So anyway, first of all, protein-rich foods are good for you. We all know that, or at least you should know that. We've discovered now that the food pyramid is kind of a pile of crap. That our base of our food should not be carbs. I always say when I eat carbs, I go into a carb coma and I just want to sleep and sleep and sleep. And, that's that Sunday brunch, pancakes and waffles and pastries, and then afternoon siesta while the football plays on the television. Explains a lot, doesn't it? One of my favorite foods that before I even knew how good they were for me, because we've been told for so long that, cholesterol, this, that, and the other thing, are eggs. I love eggs. I love scrambled eggs. I love eggs with cheese. I love the omelets. I love hard-boiled eggs. Boil up some, throw them in the fridge, and then when you need a quick little pick-me-up, a hard-boiled egg is a great way to go. Or egg salad sandwiches. Those are good too. So eggs are probably my favorite form of protein. I've never been a huge meat eater, but eggs do it for me. So that's something I like to keep on hand, and they're better for you than we've been told. Now, of course, lean chicken, turkey, things like that, obviously are good sources of protein too, but sometimes take a little more effort than we're willing to put in. That's why I always go back to eggs. But lunch meats, not so much, because they're so overly processed. But if you can get like one of those roasted chickens at the store and you put it in the fridge and maybe even freeze a little bit of it so that you can make quick sandwiches. Or I actually cheat a lot. If I don't want to do all the cooking, I get one of those roasted chickens, and then I'll make lasagna out of it. I'll make chicken and dumplings out of it. I do all the things that I would do with chicken if I had to cook it raw, but it's already cooked, so it cuts the time in half. So that's helpful. Now, I used to be a die-hard oatmeal eater, and I still like oatmeal, but I don't eat it as much as I used to. But whole oats like that are good for you as well. And of course, I don't know if the way I like to eat them are the best, because I cook them up and then I dump a pound of brown sugar in there and some raisins and some nuts and maybe some sliced apples, and so it really becomes more of a dessert. But oatmeal, especially steel cut oatmeal, is always a good breakfast option. I would stay away from the instant stuff. A lot of it has a lot of sugar and it's so overly processed, you wonder what's left in the oats, that you're eating. So just my thought on that. Now, salmon and tuna are good for you too. It's just you have to limit the quantities because of all the lead in our waters, or what is it? Not lead, it's what's the thing in our thermometers? Oh geez, I'm having a brain fart. You guys know what I'm talking about though. That's in the it's in the thermometers that it's bad for us, but now it's in our water and the fish eat it and it's bad for us. Oh God, it'll come to me in the middle of the night and then I'll be like, oh, I should have added that to the video. Or maybe wrote it down. It'll come to me. Anyway, they are good sources of, B12 and omega-3s and, all that good stuff, but you just have to limit the quantity that you're eating of it because of the toxins in our water, especially freshwater fish, although salmon and tuna don't fall into that category quite so much. God, what is that? That's going to bug me now. But just be careful where you source it. I think probably stuff from Alaska, would probably be better than down south where there's more people, and things, and the water's a little more polluted. And farmed, just forget farmed. It's just, yeah. That's just my thoughts on it. Moving along. Now, fat isn't always a bad thing. There are good fats, like the fat in avocados. Now, I personally am not an avocado fan. Sometimes I'll slip a little in there, if they cover it with something else. It's never been a big thing that I like to eat, but they are really good for you, and a lot of people really like them. So that's a good way to get good fat. Nuts. I love almonds. I used to eat almonds all the time. In fact, I put them in my oatmeal. But, keeping a little bag of almonds in your bag or in your car or whatever for a quick little snack. God, I am just having brain farts today. Maybe I need to figure out what kind of food boosts my brain, because I'm forgetting everything I was going to talk about today. God, getting old's fun, isn't it? Now, berries are great for you. You can't go wrong with berries. They're like a dessert, but they're also good for you. I know this summer I went camping and we just picked blackberries. I was eating them right off the bushes because they were out in the wild. They weren't like sprayed with shit. And it was just, they were so good. And they're a great way to, have a little extra dessert, that's not full of processed sugars and things. You can bake with them. You can put them on top of stuff. You can just eat them raw. Berries are a great way. So if you can keep some berries, in your fridge. I know buying frozen makes more sense. And if you're going to bake and things like that, that makes sense because they're going to last longer. But eating frozen ones when they're thawed, just raw or whatever, it's not the same. It's not the same. They get kind of mushy and they're not the same. So I know this was a super short video because I am not super knowledgeable on any of this crap. But I wanted to get a video done and talk about something maybe other people are interested in, even though I'm not a huge nutrition person. I am a junk food junkie of the 80s, but I'm trying to do better. I hope you have a great week and we'll see you next time.